In a world that feels like it's constantly on the move, filled with distractions, noise, demands, and relentless pressure, the pursuit of peace may often seem like a distant, unattainable dream. But what if the path to tranquility isn't about escaping your life or retreating to a mountaintop to meditate in silence, but instead about transforming the way you engage with the very challenges that surround you? What if true peace doesn't lie in the absence of problems, but in how we respond to them? This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy with profound wisdom, comes into play, showing us not just how to endure life's trials, but how to thrive in spite of them. Stoicism teaches us how to embrace the storms of life, not by avoiding them, but by learning to navigate them with equanimity, self-control, and wisdom. At its core, Stoicism is about realizing that while we cannot always control the world around us, we can always control how we respond to it. And this shift in perspective, moving from a mindset of victimhood to one of agency, is the key to unlocking the calm and serenity we often crave. The Stoics, those great philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome, believed that the foundation of a peaceful life lies in mastering a few simple, yet profoundly transformative practices. First among them is the idea of control. They emphasize the importance of understanding what is truly within our power and what is beyond it. In a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to control everything. We worry about things we can't change, obsess over opinions we can't influence, and stress about outcomes that are outside our grasp. But the Stoics teach us to focus only on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and our choices. The rest, external events, the behavior of others, even the natural course of life itself, is beyond our control. Accepting this simple truth is a powerful liberator. It allows us to let go of the fruitless struggle of trying to manipulate reality and instead channel our energy into what we can change: ourselves. Once we master this, the next step is cultivating virtues. Stoicism teaches us that virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are not just moral ideals, but practical tools for living a good life. By embodying these virtues, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe. And in doing so, we begin to see the world through a different lens. Wisdom helps us discern what is truly valuable and what is fleeting. Courage allows us to face the hardships of life with resilience. Justice reminds us to act with fairness and integrity. And temperance ensures that we live with moderation, avoiding the excesses that often lead to unnecessary suffering. The cultivation of these virtues doesn't just make us better people. It also makes us stronger, more adaptable, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. A vital part of Stoic philosophy that often gets overlooked is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. This concept invites us to not merely accept what happens in our lives, but to embrace it fully, even the challenges and adversities. The Stoics believe that everything, even the most painful or difficult experiences, is an opportunity for growth. In this sense, amor fati is about learning to love the entirety of life, not just the easy parts. It's about seeing the value in every experience, good or bad, and understanding that everything is interconnected, part of a larger, divine plan. This mindset allows us to turn obstacles into opportunities, frustration into acceptance, and hardship into strength. And it's not just some abstract concept. It's a practice, a way of reframing how we view the world. Instead of resisting what is, we lean into it, finding the lessons and meaning in every moment. A Stoic doesn't waste energy lamenting what should have been or what might have been. Instead, they focus on the present moment, on what they can do now, and on how they can move forward with wisdom and grace. One of the most powerful tools Stoicism offers for navigating life's complexities is the practice of negative visualization. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's a technique designed to help us appreciate what we have and prepare us for potential loss. By imagining the worst-case scenarios, losing our job, facing a difficult illness, losing a loved one, we become less attached to these things. It's not about dwelling on negativity, but about preparing ourselves mentally for the inevitable uncertainties of life. By doing so, we become more resilient and less prone to shock or despair when challenges arise. This practice shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what is going right, teaching us to be grateful for the blessings we often take for granted. Another cornerstone of Stoic thought is the idea of mindfulness and presence. The Stoics believed that true happiness and peace of mind could only be found in the present moment. They understood that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the only time we have is now. So, they taught the importance of living fully in the present, focusing on what's in front of us, engaging fully with the task at hand, and letting go of distractions and regrets. This is where modern Stoicism intersects with mindfulness practices popular today. When we stop dwelling on what has already happened or worrying about what might happen in the future, we create space for inner peace. We allow ourselves to engage with life as it is, without judgment or anxiety. And in doing so, we open ourselves to deeper joy, fulfillment, and connection with others. The Stoics were also masters of perspective, and this is another tool we can apply to modern life. One of their most famous techniques is the dichotomy of control, the idea that there are things we can control and things we cannot. By constantly reminding ourselves of this distinction, we can stop wasting our energy on things beyond our control and instead focus on what truly matters. When faced with a difficult situation, a Stoic asks themselves, "Is this within my control? If yes, how can I act to improve it? If no, how can I accept it gracefully and move forward?" This simple question shifts the focus from external circumstances to internal responses. It reminds us that our peace of mind does not depend on what happens to us, but on how we choose to respond to it. Finally, Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-reflection and continual growth. The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were practitioners of their philosophy. Every day, they asked themselves questions like, how did I act today? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? This constant self-examination allowed them to refine their actions and thoughts to become better versions of themselves over time. And it's a practice we can all adopt. By making time for self-reflection, journaling, or simply pausing at the end of each day to evaluate how we've lived, we begin to cultivate wisdom and self-awareness. This ongoing process of reflection and improvement ensures that we're always moving closer to our highest potential, and it prevents us from becoming complacent or stagnant. In conclusion, Stoicism is not a philosophy for the faint-hearted. It challenges us to look at life's difficulties head-on, to embrace discomfort, and to develop an inner strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. But if we take its lessons to heart, it can transform our lives in ways we never thought possible. By learning to control what we can, cultivating virtues, embracing our fate, reframing challenges, and living mindfully in the present, we can achieve a peace that is unshakable, no matter what the world throws our way. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free from suffering, but it offers us the tools to navigate that suffering with grace and wisdom. And in a world that seems increasingly chaotic, these tools are more valuable than ever. So, if you're ready to embrace the art of not caring about things you cannot control, about things that don't serve your highest good, then you're ready to embrace Stoicism. It's a journey worth embarking on, and the peace you'll find along the way is the peace that comes not from escaping the world, but from fully engaging with it on your terms. As we reach the conclusion of this exploration into Stoicism, it becomes evident that the true power of this ancient philosophy does not lie in complex rituals or abstract ideas, but in its radical simplicity. Stoicism, in its purest form, invites us to step away from the overwhelming noise of the world around us and rediscover the profound wisdom that has always been within us. It calls us to a higher understanding, one that transcends the tumult of external circumstances and grounds us in the unshakable foundation of our own character, choices, and perceptions. As the storm of life rages on, we are given the tools to not just endure but to rise, to transform adversity into growth, and to navigate every trial with the grace of an individual who has discovered the ultimate freedom, the freedom to choose how to respond. At the heart of Stoicism is the understanding that we are not powerless in the face of life's challenges. In fact, we are the architects of our own peace. The external world may be chaotic, unpredictable, and often unfair. But within us lies a wellspring of resilience, wisdom, and strength that no circumstance can diminish. The Stoics taught us that the only true power we possess is the power over our own thoughts and actions. This is the essence of freedom, the freedom to choose how we respond, how we act, and how we interpret the world around us. In a world that constantly pressures us to conform, to chase fleeting desires, and to be swept up in the tide of collective anxieties, Stoicism offers an antidote. It challenges us to step back, to pause, and to ask ourselves, what truly matters? What is within my control? What can I change? And what must I learn to accept? This simple, yet profound, inquiry forms the cornerstone of a Stoic life. It shifts our focus from the uncontrollable forces of the world to the unshakable power of self-determination. By understanding and accepting that we cannot control everything, we free ourselves from the exhausting pursuit of external validation and success. Instead, we cultivate an internal peace that is independent of external circumstances, rooted in the unwavering belief that our worth is not determined by the approval of others or by fleeting achievements, but by the integrity with which we live our lives. As we embrace the Stoic philosophy, we begin to see that it's not the challenges that define us, but our response to them. Every obstacle, every setback, every moment of hardship becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to practice virtue, and a stepping stone on the path to a more meaningful and fulfilled life. The Stoic mindset empowers us to view adversity not as something to be feared or avoided, but as a natural part of existence, something to be welcomed as a teacher, a guide, and a catalyst for personal transformation. And in this light, the concept of amor fati, the love of fate, becomes not just a philosophical ideal, but a living practice. Loving our fate means accepting all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as part of our unique journey. It means letting go of resistance, of the desire to control outcomes, and instead embracing life as it comes, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. In this acceptance, we find freedom, not the freedom to escape the struggles of life, but the freedom to live fully within them, knowing that every experience is a gift, every moment a chance to grow, and every hardship a lesson in resilience. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of virtue, the foundational principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not just abstract ideals, but practical tools that help us navigate the complexities of life with integrity and purpose. Wisdom allows us to see the world clearly, to distinguish between what truly matters and what is transient. Courage gives us the strength to face life's challenges with resolve, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Justice reminds us to treat others with fairness and compassion, and temperance helps us avoid the extremes of indulgence and excess. By embodying these virtues, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe, cultivating a life of balance, harmony, and fulfillment. As we develop these virtues, we also cultivate a deep sense of mindfulness and presence. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to become lost in the past or consumed by the future. But Stoicism calls us to return to the present moment, to engage fully with whatever we are doing, and to live with intention and purpose. It's a practice that requires us to slow down, to be present with our thoughts and actions, and to cultivate gratitude for the simple, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. In the present moment, we find the keys to peace. We realize that true fulfillment doesn't lie in distant goals or future achievements, but in the quality of our attention and the depth of our engagement with the now. As we grow in Stoic practice, we begin to see life through a different lens. We no longer measure our worth by external accomplishments, but by the depth of our inner life, by the clarity of our thoughts, the strength of our character, and the purity of our intentions. We learn to detach from the fleeting pleasures and distractions of the world and focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our values, and our capacity for growth. In this way, Stoicism teaches us to live with intention, to cultivate meaning in every moment, and to approach each day as an opportunity for self-mastery and transformation. But the true beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity. At its core, It's not a complex philosophy, but a way of life, a guide to living with purpose, integrity, and peace. It doesn't promise a life free from suffering, but it offers a path to navigate that suffering with grace, wisdom, and resilience. It reminds us that our happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on our internal state, on our ability to cultivate virtue, to align with the flow of life, and to embrace whatever comes our way with an open heart and a steady mind. In the end, Stoicism is not about escaping life's challenges, but about transforming them into opportunities for growth. It is about facing the chaos of the world with a calm heart, a clear mind, and an unwavering sense of purpose. It is about recognizing that life, in all its complexity, is not something to be feared or resisted, but something to be embraced with open arms. By practicing Stoicism, we become masters of our own fate, and in doing so, we unlock a peace that cannot be shaken by the storms of life. It is a peace that comes from within, a peace that is born not from avoiding difficulty, but from meeting it with wisdom, courage, and love. So, as we step forward into the future, let us remember the Stoic teachings and carry them with us as a guide for living well. Let us embrace our fate, cultivate virtue, and live with purpose. And in doing so, may we find a true peace that comes not from escaping life's challenges, but from mastering them with grace and resilience. The Stoic journey is not an easy one, but it is one that leads to a profound and lasting peace, a peace that, once discovered, can never be lost.